Do you ever wonder why some people reach incredible heights only to self-destruct? They have it all, the talent, the drive, the genius, but something inside them breaks. It's not the world that takes them down, it's themselves. 2,000 years ago, a Greek philosopher named Plutarch figured out why. He wasn't just writing history, he was writing psychology before psychology existed. And what he discovered about the rise and fall of great men still explains why so many ambitious, talented people burn out today. Because, according to Plutarch, your greatest strength can also become your greatest weakness. And if you don't learn to master it, it will destroy you. Plutarch wasn't a general or a king. He was a philosopher and priest who spent his life studying character. He wrote a book called Parallel Lives, comparing the most powerful Greeks and Romans. But his goal wasn't to glorify them, it was to understand them. He said, "I'm not writing histories, but lives." He wasn't obsessed with dates and battles. He was obsessed with decisions, the moments that reveal who a person really is. For Plutarch, success wasn't about what you built on the outside, it was about what you built on the inside. He believed character was destiny, that the battles you fight inside determine the fate of everything outside. So he studied the rise of extraordinary men and what caused their collapse. Not because he was judging them, but because he wanted to teach us how to avoid their mistakes. To understand how people fall, Plutarch first explained how the soul works. He said your soul is like a chariot pulled by two horses. One horse is your reason, calm, disciplined, guiding. The other is your passion, wild, powerful, emotional. You need both. Passion gives you energy. Reason gives you direction. But if the charioteer, you, loses control, the horses tear the chariot apart. That's what happens to so many talented people. They have power, but no control. Ambition, but no balance. Emotion, but no discipline. Plutarch believed the purpose of life, the real definition of virtue, was to master this internal struggle, to keep your mind and your passions in harmony. He called this the therapy of the soul. Because every day, your decisions are shaping that balance, either building your inner strength or slowly cracking it apart. Plutarch said it's not in the grand battles or speeches that a man's true nature is revealed. It's in the small moments. How you talk to someone weaker than you. How you react when you're angry. How you behave when no one's watching. A small thing like a phrase or a jest, he wrote, can reveal more of a man's character than the battles where thousands die. That's why you can't hide from your habits. They're showing the truth of who you are, every day, in every choice. And over time, those small cracks add up. The collapse never looks sudden from the inside. It's just the final breaking of something that's been weakening for years. Now, meet Alcibiades, the man who had everything. Born rich, brilliant, and beautiful, he was the golden boy of Athens. He was charming, strategic, fearless. The kind of man people followed even when they hated him. He had what everyone dreams of: talent, charisma, power. But there was one thing missing: character. Alcibiades was a master of adaptation. He could become whoever he needed to be to get what he wanted. In Athens, he was a radical democrat. In Sparta, a strict warrior. In Persia, a luxurious courtier. He could change his style, his loyalty, even his morals. But deep down, he stood for nothing. And that's what destroyed him. He betrayed friends, allies, and even his own city, all for attention and glory. He was like a ship with a magnificent sail, but no rudder, blown wherever his ego wanted to go. Plutarch saw it clearly. Alcibiades wasn't just intelligent, he was addicted to admiration. He lived for applause, not purpose. And that's a trap a lot of people fall into today. They adapt to every new trend, every new crowd, every new opportunity, but lose their core in the process. They're everything to everyone, but nothing to themselves. In the end, Alcibiades died far from home, hunted and forgotten. Not because he wasn't smart, but because he never built a soul strong enough to guide his own power. Now, let's look at the opposite kind of failure. Coriolanus, a Roman general, a war hero, a man of total discipline and strength. Where Alcibiades was fluid, Coriolanus was stone. He lived by honor, justice, and principle. But inside that strength was something dangerous: pride. He despised the common people of Rome. To him, they were weak, unworthy, and beneath him. So when the time came for him to humble himself before them to earn a political position, he refused. He couldn't bend, and that rigidity broke him. Humiliated, angry, and full of resentment, Coriolanus turned against his own city. He joined Rome's enemies and led an army to destroy the very place that made him great. Only the tears of his mother finally broke his pride, but by then it was too late. He lost everything. Plutarch said it best: Coriolanus's pride made all his noble qualities unacceptable. And that's the second trap of greatness, when strength hardens into arrogance. You stop listening. You stop learning. You stop connecting with people. You're right. Always. Until you're not. You see this in leaders, in businesses, in relationships. People who build something amazing and then destroy it because they can't handle being questioned. They can't bend, so they break. Plutarch put Alcibiades and Coriolanus side by side for a reason. They seem like opposites, one too flexible, the other too rigid, but both fall the same way. One was ruined by the chaos of passion, the other by the tyranny of pride. One burned too hot, the other froze too cold. The truth is, balance isn't weakness, it's mastery. It's the ability to stay centered when everything inside you wants to pull apart. That's what great leadership, great discipline, and great living actually require. You can't be only fire or only ice. You have to be both, in harmony. That's what Plutarch meant when he said the healthy soul is ruled by reason, not emotionless, not mechanical, just balanced. And balance doesn't mean you stop being ambitious or passionate. It means you control where those forces go. Because power without direction is destruction. But power with discipline? That's unstoppable. You might not be a general or a statesman, but you fight the same battle. Every day, you wrestle with those same horses inside you. Your reason, your passion, your ego, your discipline. And if you don't hold the reins tight, they'll take you somewhere you don't want to go. That's what burnout is. That's what self-sabotage is. That's what every great collapse looks like. Success without inner stability. You can be brilliant and still fall apart. You can be disciplined and still destroy what you've built. Because greatness without balance is like a car with no steering wheel, fast, powerful, and doomed. Plutarch's message is a warning, but also a challenge. You have to become the charioteer, the master of your own power. We live in a world that celebrates external wins, followers, money, trophies. But Plutarch reminds us, those things mean nothing if your soul is a mess. You can look successful and still be collapsing inside. You can be deemed happy in the marketplace, as Plutarch said, but go home thrice miserable. So you've got to flip the equation. Don't chase success to feel whole. Become whole first, then chase success. Because if your inner life is stable, no loss can break you. And if it's not, no victory can save you. You see it everywhere today. Modern Alcibiades and Coriolanus's. The charismatic visionary who adapts to every trend but stands for nothing. The disciplined perfectionist who turns their pride into a prison. One collapses from chaos, the other from rigidity. And both could have been unstoppable if they'd balanced their power with humility and purpose. That's the line between being driven and being self-destructive, between living limitless and living lost. Plutarch's wisdom hit because it's still true. The hardest battles aren't fought in war rooms or boardrooms. They're fought in your own soul, between your desire for greatness and your need for peace, between your ambition and your humility, between your ego and your wisdom. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, humility over pride, purpose over pleasure, you win that battle. And those tiny victories, stacked up day after day, are what keep you standing when others fall. Because collapse isn't sudden, it's slow. It's small cracks ignored for too long. It's the difference between power and control, between success and mastery. So here's the question Plutarch would ask you. Are you driving your life, or are your passions driving you? You already have greatness in you. But your ambition, your talent, your energy, all of it means nothing if you can't hold the reins. Learn from the ones who fell. From Alcibiades, who had no anchor. From Coriolanus, who had no flexibility. Be neither flame nor stone. Be balance. Because true strength isn't about rising fast. It's about staying centered while you rise. That's how you become limitless. That's how you build a life that doesn't collapse. Every great person you admire fought the same battle you're fighting right now, the battle within. The difference between those who rise and those who fall isn't talent, luck, or opportunity. It's balance. It's character. Because the truth is, your greatest strength can also be your greatest weakness if you don't keep it under control. Don't let your ambition outrun your integrity. Don't let your pride silence your humility. Don't let your success blind you to the cracks forming underneath it. Build the kind of mindset that can handle power, pressure, and success without losing who you are. Because mastering your mind isn't about changing the world around you, it's about changing the world within you. If this message hit home, make sure you subscribe, share this with someone who needs it, and keep pushing forward. This is Limitless Mindset, reminding you, strength without balance is just another form of weakness.